This is the cover of a children's book that will be printed and published with your help. The artwork is already completed. It's a real-life story situation prevalent in our society, reflecting the economical consequences of technology and automation replacing traditional skills and making many people's livelihood obsolete. This video is a biographical backdrop about the artist and writer of Ardor Shoes, a classic fairy tale children's book rewrite, originally named The Shoemaker and the Elves. This little guy posing and drawing on the floor is Gregory Newson, who was born in New York City. This particular picture was taken at a Harlem's photographer studio on 125th Street. His mother always wanted him to be presentable and picture perfect when out and about in the Harlem and Sugar Hill community, which was the most exciting part of the city in the 40s. This video is an attempt to arouse your instinct to judge. And judge you must, because we all need reasons why we support anything. Greg was very shy, and the attention he received as firstborn from his mother was overwhelming. But after the arrival of his sibling sisters, Greg was able to make decisions for himself. And as a developing adolescent, one of the artists he liked was Bob Dylan, especially a phrase from one of his songs, "There must be some way out of here." Drawing, painting was definitely Greg's way out of here, and later the use of drugs. Yes, you heard me clearly, drugs. First it was marijuana. Then he graduated to heroin, and then cocaine. And from this indulgence, Greg's young life was on a course for disaster. And when he realized what the hell was going on, he tried NA meetings, going to church, and to struggle to wrestle his life back. But nothing worked. The sight of money drove him to ruins. But he did maintain a job as a paste-up and mechanical artist at an advertising agency, and occasionally did some freelance illustration work that helped finance his drug use. And eventually he learned how to sell drugs to the art directors and account executives at the agency, which helped to finance the launching of The Adventures of Rank Johnson, a comic book about a fictitious character fighting a drug dealer. Greg's starring character was an ex-movie star and Green Beret soldier. The comic book was named When the Stars Strike Back. Rank was modeled around Greg Newson's physical appearance and was successfully self-published and sold about 3,000 copies, and you can still find it on eBay as a collectible. But drug use got the better of Greg Newson. Smoking crack eventually sent him to the emergency room, and from his hospital bed he made a do-or-die decision and said goodbye to mental slavery and left New York City in an effort to free himself from drug addiction and recover his self-worth. And after 5 years in Jacksonville, Florida, Greg won the battle. but there was a price he paid for his recovery. His artistic aspiration had faded, and to him, any artistic future was not a practical way to make a living. Greg was far from that little boy that had told his mother and her neighbors, "You wait, one day I'm going to be a great artist." From Florida, he tried to complete Chapter 2 of the Adventures of Rank Johnson series, named At the Crack of Dawn You Will Die, which was modeled around a deeper look at drug use. But the writing and completing of it reminded Greg too much of his negativity, and he abandoned the project because it did not deliver a positive message to young people. And at this point, Greg realized his long-range artistic focus was impaired from past drug use. So after 5 years living in Florida, he packed his bags and returned to New York. Now Greg had a considerable amount of time away from drugs to remember how he got involved with art from the long periods locked in his room as punishment for some type of bad behavior, where he prayed for some kind of comfort in his solitary confinement. And from that room, he learned how to escape with just a blank sheet of paper. It was like a portal. He had discovered that feeling graffiti artists feel when they walk down the street and encounter a blank wall. He had such an incredible feeling of well-being that there was a God and he could see him in all his glory in every stroke of his pencil or paintbrush. Victory was in Greg's hand. "Step forward, evil one, and I will slay you," shouted Greg, "because God is on my side." Greg is now at a crossroad. A career decision has to be made. This is why he selected this website community to seek financial support to print and publish his children's book. Every painting and illustration in this video was created by Gregory Newson. And please look forward to Greg's second book with your help, A Scary Breeze on 125th Street, another classic fairy tale rewrite adaptation. Greg hopes by telling the truth to this audience about his personal struggle of self-demise and redemption is the only way to go. And now it's time for you to pass judgment if he deserves your help to self-publish a series of children's books. But if you choose not to be part of this endeavor, Greg hopes that you could pray for him and his journey to find positive things to say. And thank you very much for your time.